Rick, for some of your core players, this is the first time that they're going to be playing in front of a playoff road crowd, and momentum can obviously swing against you. Is there any message that you've had to your players about the environment or atmosphere that they're going to be walking into tonight?
I mean, I love it. Like, we were talking to a few guys about it, joking around with it. You want guys screaming at you. I think it's a great thing, and embrace it. I mean, it's fun. So you try to tell stories, and you try to tell some funny stories. I know footy tells stories and try to loosen guys up, but the first 5 minutes, the guys that experience it, it's no different. Well, they experience it obviously on the good side of Vancouver. I mean, those fans were unreal, and you get the same. These guys are top too, so they've experienced that loud noise. So you just block it out and play.
You guys were a really good first period team all season. How do you continue that here on the road in a building that's going to be as loud tonight as it was in Rogers for Game 1?
Yeah, I think just establishing our game. I think we can play a little faster, a little more north. I think that's usually a good recipe for playing good road hockey. I think when you start regrouping too much, taking the puck back, you can get in trouble, especially in a loud building. I'm sure they're going to want to change a few things on their end. So I think for us, playing faster and taking zones quicker, I think is something that we got to do a little bit better at.
And I think when teams lose playoff games, the default is coach is going to change the lineup.
Yeah.
But do you anticipate making any changes from what you had in Game 2?
Not at this point. We usually have one last meeting. We have a couple of coaches will have their say. Do we put this guy in, this guy in? So, I don't feel it's necessary to make a bunch of changes.
Can you confirm that Tyler Myers will play, though, tonight?
Yeah, he's going to, as of yesterday, he was good in practice, unless, but I don't anticipate him being sick or right now. He seems really good.
Rick, you had 5 20-goal scorers in your lineup this year. None of them have scored in this series yet. It feels like a matter of time, but it's easy to say that until they go out and do it. I mean, how much confidence do you have that it's just a matter of time before the dam breaks?
Yeah, I think if they continue to they've had confidence before where they haven't scored, where they've broken out of it. I just feel that a couple of those guys have kind of, I don't know, they seem a little bit nervous sometimes, and I think they just got to play like it's just hockey. Like, don't worry about the stage. Sometimes you get that puck and you're looking for something more. I think you should start shooting the puck more, getting those areas. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. They've done it. So just a couple of hiccups here and there, just get back to your game. I don't worry about those guys.
Rick, to this point, it seemed like on your rink anyway, that you and Brunette kind of agreed on sort of the matchup flow. Does that reduce how different it is with the series shifting to Nashville?
I know, that's a good question. I'm sure he'll have different pairs out there, but it might change my flow of how I want to run my lines. And then obviously defensively and offensively face-offs, he gets the advantage. So there's maybe a minor little advantage, but no, I think I know what he wants to do, unless, I really do. And I think he knows what I want to do. So I don't think it's like we're trying to hide anything.
With some conflicting information or just reporting out there, I know Demko's week-to-week was your update a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Just an opportunity for you to clarify. Has that changed in any way, and has he been ruled out at this point?
It's week-to-week, and he's obviously ruled out. He's not going to play the next couple of games, but it is week-to-week. We're not trying to, hide anything, but it is week-to-week, definitely.
Rick, this has been a physical series so far. Both you and Brunette have said that you want your players to embrace the pain. Seems like hits are up across the playoffs this season. Does that surprise you at all, the fact that it's been so physical, not just for you guys, but across the league?
No, because it's the first round and it's frenetic. It's, people want to, guys that don't hit, they're finishing their check. But to me, it's the sustainability. Can you continue to do it? Is it just, one or two games? But, like I said, we don't want to run, I'm sure they're saying the same, you don't want to run out of position for a hit. If it's there, it's there. And I haven't felt that this series where both teams, I don't see a lot of people running around trying to hit. That people are just hitting what's in front of them, and or finishing somebody, or getting inside, and that's why you get a little more physical. But I have not seen people running around, which is good. It's a good thing. You want to stay in your structure, but if it hits there, if there's an open ice hit there, you got to take it, and I think that's what we've seen so far in these 2 games.
And about the sustainability, is there anyone that you say like tone it down, or anyone that you're a little bit concerned about when they go in for a big hit?
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen tone it down. No, I think both teams have been pretty disciplined. I don't think any side's complaining about anything about refereeing. I think it's been a good series outright discipline. But the physicality, though, you have to be physical, and the refs have let the series being physical within the guidelines, which is good. I think both teams would like to play 5-on-5, and and the refs have stayed out of it. I think they've done a really good job.
Rick, coming into the series, you talked about not wanting to overload guys with information. How does your process shift, and what sort of balance do you have now that you've had a chance to have a practice, and now you're looking at games 3 and 4, which is more, I would assume, detail-oriented now that you know what you're up against?
Yeah, there's two things that, not to bore you guys into it, but there's 2 things I know we can do better at tactically against Nashville, and I'd like to see that tonight. So that was shown twice, and we practiced a little bit with it, but after that, it's over. Like, we're not going to show any more video of this, because that's when you get overloaded, and then you get guys antsy and overthink things. So, yeah, I'm not a big believer in overloading a player, especially we have some guys here first time in the playoffs. The last thing I need to do is get these guys, before they even start, 5 things in their head. I mean, that's just not, it's a recipe for disaster. So you want to keep guys calm. But I think these 2 points will help.
Rick, just going back to what you said before, I know you're not going to give us precise details, but in broad strokes, could you kind of say what those 2 things you sort of told the players is what we want to see better?
Well, they block a lot of shots, so I think there's some places where we can go where we'll get some creativity and a better look, but still, you still got to shoot the puck, and you got to change angles. I mean, that's, there's a talent to it, being able to change an angle at the last second to get it by that first blocker, or whatever you want to call them, or the first 3 blockers. So there's a talent there to do that, but there's also some spots you can go in their system. And it might not happen the first 7-8 minutes, but you got to stick with it. And I think that's really what it comes to me. One of the areas we can get better at. I hate roller coasters.
Yeah, that was a tough way to start.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.